In today's world, millions of people silently struggle with a hidden addiction that subtly reshapes their mind, emotions, and relationships: pornography. While it may begin as simple curiosity, harmless exploration, or a momentary escape from stress, the long-term consequences are profound and deeply rooted in the way our brains function. Understanding why pornography is addictive requires exploring the neurological, psychological, and emotional dimensions of human behavior, and it starts with the brain's reward system. Each exposure to porn triggers the release of dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure, reward, and reinforcement. Dopamine is not inherently bad. It is the chemical that motivates learning, exploration, and achievement. However, when the brain repeatedly experiences artificial, intense stimulation in the form of sexual imagery and fantasy, it begins to prioritize that reward over natural sources of pleasure, such as social interaction, meaningful work, or emotional intimacy. Over time, this repeated stimulation rewires neural pathways, creating a learned dependency where ordinary experiences become less satisfying, and the individual unconsciously craves the exaggerated, instantaneous gratification that pornography provides. The cycle is further intensified by the process of desensitization. As the brain adapts to frequent exposure, the intensity of the content must increase to elicit the same response. This escalation leads many individuals down a path where what once felt stimulating now appears dull, prompting them to seek more extreme, novel, or taboo material to achieve the familiar dopamine surge. The psychological consequences are far-reaching. Individuals may experience guilt, shame, anxiety, or frustration as they realize their behavior conflicts with their values, relationships, or personal goals. Emotional regulation becomes compromised, and the ability to form or maintain meaningful connections may deteriorate, contributing to feelings of isolation and loneliness. In essence, the brain's reward circuitry is hijacked, creating a tension between the desire for connection and the consumption of artificial stimuli that undermines real intimacy. Beyond neurological adaptation, pornography addiction also exploits cognitive distortions and habitual reinforcement patterns. Individuals often rationalize their behavior with excuses such as everyone does it or it's just a harmless stress reliever, reinforcing the habit while minimizing awareness of the underlying compulsion. Over time, these cognitive distortions entrench themselves, making change more difficult and perpetuating a sense of powerlessness. Social and cultural factors exacerbate this problem. The ubiquity of digital devices, instant access to high-definition content, and social normalization of pornography create an environment where temptation is constant and accountability is minimal. Combined with the human tendency to seek immediate gratification, these external pressures magnify the internal struggle, creating a complex interplay of biological, psychological, and environmental drivers that sustain addictive behavior. The emotional consequences of prolonged pornography consumption extend to the realm of interpersonal relationships. Unrealistic portrayals of sexuality can distort expectations about intimacy, leading to dissatisfaction, misunderstandings, and impaired emotional responsiveness toward partners. Moreover, the addictive pattern may generate cycles of secrecy, avoidance, and isolation, eroding trust and contributing to relational breakdowns. The shame and self-recrimination that often accompany these experiences can further entrench the addiction, creating a feedback loop in which emotional distress fuels compulsive consumption, which in turn intensifies guilt and anxiety. Knowledge becomes the tool for empowerment. Discipline becomes the medium for freedom, and conscious choice replaces passive compulsion. In this light, the struggle against pornography addiction is not just about stopping a behavior. It is about reclaiming life, restoring mental clarity, and reconnecting with authentic human experience. Awareness, structured action, accountability, and persistence create the conditions for success. Each step toward understanding, reflection, and deliberate behavior strengthens the mind's capacity for autonomy, emotional regulation, and fulfillment. As we navigate this modern challenge, it is vital to approach the journey with patience, compassion, and rigorous attention to the interplay of brain behavior and environment. Addiction is not the endpoint, It is a signal, an opportunity for growth, learning, and reclamation of the self. The lessons embedded within struggle, when recognized and acted upon, can transform vulnerability into strength, impulsivity into insight, and chaos into order. By adopting a rational, informed, and disciplined approach, individuals can gradually dismantle the compulsive patterns, restore their natural responsiveness to life's pleasures, and cultivate deeper, more satisfying connections. Recovery is not instantaneous but cumulative, built through consistent practice, reflection, and engagement with supportive structures. In doing so, one not only overcomes addiction but develops the skills, habits, and mindset necessary for sustained mental wellness, resilience, and personal growth. Pornography may have hijacked attention, distorted expectations, and eroded connection, but understanding the mechanisms and committing to deliberate change can reverse these effects, reestablishing clarity, purpose, and meaningful engagement with life. In conclusion, pornography addiction is a complex interplay of neurobiology, psychology, environment, and culture. It is not a mark of moral failing, but a challenge imposed by modern digital environments and human neurobiology. Awareness, structured strategies, accountability, and discipline are essential for reclaiming control, restoring emotional and relational health, and cultivating a life of clarity, purpose, and fulfillment. By integrating knowledge with deliberate action, individuals can rewire their brains, transform habits, and rebuild authentic human connection. This is not merely a fight against a single behavior. It is a pursuit of mastery over the mind, a commitment to authentic living, and a journey toward reclaiming the fullness of human experience. Awareness transforms into action, action into habit, habit into character, and character into freedom. The choice lies with each individual: to remain passive under the influence of addictive stimuli, or to engage deliberately, informed, and resolutely in the pursuit of a rational, fulfilled, and autonomous life.